Trial of Abraham. Truly, this was a great trial. God had promised Abraham that he would have an heir. He would have descendants. And yet Lot, who was his nephew, which was like a son to him, he was gone. Ishmael, who was one of his sons, his oldest son, gone. Now God is saying, give me Isaac. Give me Isaac. Yes, it's a trial of faith, but to be more specific, it was a trial of trust. Abraham had a little bit of history here of having a problem with trust. Yes, it's true that he believed in God and he followed God into a land, and Abraham didn't know where he was going to go, and he trusted God. But at least twice there came a time when he became fearful and lied about his wife and had two kings take his wife away. And God had to step in both times. A little bit of a trust issue here. And basically God is saying, give me your life. Give me the thing you love more than life itself. Give it to me and trust me. Trial of trust. Well, this trip that he took was about 50 miles. He was leaving the area of Beersheba and traveling northeast up to the area of Jerusalem. It says he went to Mount Moriah. Normally, as I have thought about this in the past, I envision Abraham going up this mountain and being by himself up at the top with just him and Isaac. I've heard sermons where they say Abraham and Isaac were walking up one side of the mountain. At the same time, a ram was walking up the other side of the mountain, that God had made preparation for the substitution. Well, that makes good preaching, but the truth of the matter is they weren't alone up there. He was going up this mountain. This is right next to, next to a city, next to Jerusalem. Now, we don't know exactly where it is. It says in the area of Moriah. Chronicles says it was actually at the place where the temple was built. But envision that it's just north of the city. It's true, it's a large wall right there that is a defensive wall keeping people to going into Jerusalem. So there weren't people right next to him, but at least there was a city. But this is where the ram came from. When Abraham saw the ram, it didn't have to travel far. It was just right there. There were actually shepherds in that area. I often wondered if, after all this was over, if Abraham went and found that shepherd and paid for the ram. I personally think that he did. We hear about Isaac as the two great things about Isaac is that he had a great father and a great son. And it's true, he did have a great father who had a pioneering faith. And he had a great son, Jacob, who had a restless faith. And we read a lot about what these two men went through. Don't hear as much about Isaac because he had a submissive faith. All through his life, we see him submitting, accepting God's will for his life. And this is the first time we see it right here. His father, who, I remember Isaac was a strapping 17-year-old or thereabouts, and he was a hard worker. And his father was 117. He could have easily fought him back, but no, he submits to what his father is doing, to be sacrificed. He was a great man of faith, a submissive faith. As I have gone through my Christian life, I've always heard this story. What a beautiful picture of redemption it is, on how you have a picture of a father sacrificing his son like God the Father sacrificed Jesus. You have the 3-day journey on how for 3 days in Abraham's mind, Isaac was already dead. So when he took him off the altar, that was like a picture of the resurrection, a picture of Isaac submitting to his father for this, like Jesus submitting to the Father, how the ram was a substitutionary death, a beautiful picture of redemption. That's what I always thought of it. So I was kind of surprised when I took some people to the spot and I said, this is where it happened, right here. And among the people were people were saying, that's an awful story. That's a horrible story. That's a picture of child abuse. No, Abraham didn't sacrifice his son, but he was about to. I had never thought of that before. Hadn't seen that. I hold to that it's a beautiful picture of redemption. But if you think it's a picture of child abuse, well then hang on until we get to the story of Jephthah. Well, come back when we give you more insights on the story.